With the increase in waste and the accumulation of waste, our company has created a cement that meets standards while being eco-friendly and fairly priced. This task was assigned to engineers, chemists, and geologists who conduct studies to achieve this goal. Cement has a great influence, but the main objective is to test its functionality in concrete. To create functional concrete from construction and demolition waste aggregates, it must pass certain tests to ensure its quality. Include particle size, density, absorption, elongation index, fatness index, modulus of needs, and wear resistance. This is due to the fact that the mixture is composed of concrete, pavement, gypsum, brick, glass, plastic, wood, and mixed aggregates. This generates heterogeneity which affects the mechanical and chemical properties of the mixture. Because it is such a necessary product, we have taken the trouble to illustrate its benefits in a way that everyone can understand. Because there is no reference standard, our test result we compared with INVIAS, RILEM, and ACI. And this is the table that had the characteristic of our aggregates. We choose the option 2, the type 2. The first item is the properties of recycled aggregates allowed for our work. The data obtained are shown in the table. Generally speaking, the density influences the agglomeration of the sample, water absorption, in the dehydration in the seeding process, impurities and metals, in the physical properties due to the heterogeneity of the aggregates to be used, the amount of organic matter, in the change over time of the chemical properties because being organic it decomposes and affects the concrete. They are amorphous compounds that change with water, their chemical properties, the sands, diminish the rigidity, are not binding, and finally the sulfates generate oxidation that in the future fracture concrete. This is the table with the properties of our aggregate. Physical properties. The granulometry, as the word says, is the measurement of the aggregate's particles for the characterization of the same one and later his classification. The aggregate's influence in the mixture in the measure that the size and form of the same one change the mechanical properties after the seeding. The apparent density shows the relation of the mass with the volume without taking into account the porosity of the aggregates, the absorption, the water absorption that can come to remove the mixture, the elongation index and the flatness show the relation between its base, height and thickness, which affects the distribution of efforts after seeding. The coefficient of the angles shows the loss of mass after a wear test. This is the table with the properties. The design of the concrete are the proportion and the characteristic that it's going to possess before and after the city. The establishment influence in the capacity of the mixture to distribute in a homogeneous way in the form. The resistance in the capacity to support efforts generated by loads, the maximum size in the size of the particles. That relation AC is the relation aggregate cement. content of cement is the quantity of cement and the additive, and this additive is an emulsifying additive for the stability of the mixture. The tests were done with 25, 50, and 100% recycled, and one is tested with 100% of natural aggregate. The time it takes for the concrete to reach its maximum stiffness is 28 days. For this, we do for for tests with 7, 14, and 28 days. For the compression test at the 7, 14, and 28 days, axial forces parallel to the element axis and in the direction of the center were evaluated. The measurements are in megapascals, and the following information was obtained that ACE qualifies it is as excellent. And this is the table. For the bending tests were evaluated at 7, 14, and 18 and 28 days. Maximum stress before breaking the measure are in kilograms as a function of centimeters squared. The following information was obtained. The ACI qualifies it is a very low, since the minimum permissible effort is 38 kilograms as a function of square centimeters. Therefore, it's switchable for efforts only to compression. And this is the table. Test for the determination of modulus of elasticity. The results are in megapascals. It is concluded that this is what affects more by the addition of recycled, and the norm says that minimum must have 20,000 megapascals. Therefore, only 25% can be added to the mixture.